Good evening, everyone. Today, we are going to be talking about a very practical subject. I want to talk about financial freedom for salary earners. Financial freedom for salary earners, and also for, you know, young graduates who just started working and earning salary. Hello, Njideka. Good evening. It's always a pleasure. Always a joy having you around. Especially since the day I realized that you are one of the 1,000 people I'm looking for. I'm so sure about that in my spirit. So always good to have you around.
Yes,
Okay.
so good evening, sir.
So tonight, let's talk about financial freedom for salary earners. And I'm going to be drawing from my experience and also from a conversation I had this evening with a young person in his early 30s, who is earning salary. And I look back to the time I earned my first salary and knowing what I know today, I would actually have done a lot of things differently from my first salary. So I'm going to give you some principles and some rules to follow because many of us do not realize just how much of a blessing having monthly salary is. When we are starting out life and starting our profession, many of us just do not realize it, just how much of a blessing having a monthly salary. And especially when you have a job where you are paid regularly every month, I think we should be more thankful than we are. Now, I know that a lot of people have been placing stigma over um, people who work, who do 9 to 5. And so they call a job, job, they call it just over broke. Um, and I think it's not fair, to regard jobs that way because having a job seems to be the very first gift that God gives us as Christians. Not just abuse our salaries, we treat it badly. Okay, we treat it badly. And then we do not see salary as what is supposed to be, what is actually meant to be, because your salary is actually like the vaccination against future poverty. That's a good one. Can somebody type that? Your salary is a vaccination against future poverty. So, and I remember when I earned my first salary, oh my goodness, there was no plan. There was no plan. First of all, I had come from a place of survival because I hadn't gotten a job. I had suffered. What I was talking about is how to treat your salary. And after tonight, you will never look at your salary, your monthly salary, the same way again. I guarantee you, you will never look at it the same way again. So when I started getting salary, you know, all that was on my mind, was just spending it, buy food, pay children's school fees, pay house rent and things like that. So the concept of paying myself first was not there. Paying myself first, called salary abuse. Type it in the comment section. Those of you watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, type it salary abuse. So one of the things you want to avoid as a salary earner is salary abuse. because you will discover that once your salary starts coming in, everything else that needs to be done. Everything else, so so because of salary abuse. And then the cause of difficulties, financial struggle for many people later on in their lives. People are 20, they are 30, 35, they are earning good salary. But then later on, by 50, by 45, by 50, they are regretting. They look was that when you get paid, you pay everybody else except yourself. You pay everybody else except yourself. That is salary abuse. So the number one law for those of you who are salary earners and you want to become financially later on in life. I meet people, the other day I met a civil servant who had worked for over 30 years of his life in the civil service. And then he was telling me that he looks back and then there's nothing to show for it. There's nothing to show for it. And then what also happens is when people don't think their employer, that's how they start looking for other quick ways, to make money. And then in the process of that, because now you're starting, you probably, when you start working, you probably are not married yet, find yourself under pressure. And then when you are under pressure, the temptation to do things, to compromise your values, to compromise your conscience, now come. That's when people start doing, people who normally would not cheat there. And then you say, okay, put 150,000, but you actually bought it 100,000. So you cheat your company out of the 50. So people begin to do that because later in their life, they find that, oh, they, they really abuse when you are earning salary, when you start working and the money starts coming, promotions start coming, and then they give you salary raise, you see your salary going from uh, 200, and more money comes, you can continue to live the way you had lived. Because there's a temptation, for instance, if you're earning $500,000 a month and you're currently staying in one a seed for investment into your future, a seed for investment into your future. The mistake that I made and the mistake that many people who are earning salary make a big form of salary abuse. When you start earning salary, you don't start with lifestyle. You don't start with lifestyle. That's the mistake I made. I mean, first make. So lifestyle, that is the second law. The first law is to pay yourself first. The second law is do not start with lifestyle when you're salary earner. Start with your salary, your investment, begin to take care of your lifestyle. So remember, the first law is pay yourself first. The second law is in index funds, we're talking about bonds, we're talking about mutual funds, we're talking about all those financial assets. So as a salary earner, your lifestyle, salary lifestyle is a scam. Please type it in the comment section. I want these things to really get so salary lifestyle to the US. Now, the business trips in those days were business class. They were, I mean, of course, your Shell staff, Shell can't put you in economy. Neither would Chevron put you in economy. We traveled. I don't think when I got to the airport, the protocol people were already there because they knew I was traveling. We had men. So sometimes if you go to the airport, you will see people wearing this to me. And then I headed from there straight into the business class lounge. So life was very good. Business class lounge. And then I will stay there until when it was time to board. It's going to break my internet. Don't change it. Sorry, talking to somebody out there. Just a second. Did you hear? Yeah, okay. So the 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 this in the business class